have Isaiah here from Daily Magic. He has not just a business runner, but a designer as well.
Yeah.
What have you brought for us today?
Today I have Villages of Valeria, and it is the second game in the Valeria series. Currently there's 3. The third one will come out on the 24th. That's Quests of Valeria. But so there are 3 standalone games, and this one just came out on January 20th, and it's a tableau building game. So you're doing a lot of resource management, you're managing your cards, and it has a lead-follow mechanism in it. So if we have this card here is kind of the action selection card, and the active player would pick one of the actions here, and they would do, for example, if it was the harvest, they would get to draw 3 cards, and then the rest of the table would fall and they draw 1 card.
Right, so it's something similar to like what you see in like a Puerto Rico or San Juan, right?
Yeah, it's been compared a lot to San Juan, Race for the Galaxy, Eminent Domain. So I think it's just that lead-follow thing that people recognize, and I love it. Yeah, I think people have been responding really positive to it. So yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, that's kind of how the game will flow. We have a kind of row or a market of buildings here, and each building is going to have, on the top of it is the build cost here on the left, the type of building it is on the upper left, and then it's going to have the victory point on the right. And then each building can also be developed as a resource, so at the bottom it's kind of a dual use card here. Yeah.
Right.
So you would tuck it under your castle, and now I can pay myself a gold here to produce a food. Yeah, so we start the game with 3 gold here.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I'll give you a couple more. So yeah, the interesting thing about this is that you're essentially in the game thematically, you're paying your own people to produce these resources for you. And you never lose this gold. Like once you use it, it's kind of stuck there for the round, but then at the start of your turn, you're going to get it right back.
And I can pay you to use your spots as well.
That's another cool thing is if you don't have the resource you need, but let's say you have that resource, I can pay you, and then at the start of your turn, you're going to take that gold. So the gold is worth 1 victory point at the end of the game. So you want to use it strategically. You don't want to just give people your victory points, right? But you want to use it when you think it's going to build you a building that has a really good power for the route that you're going on. So yeah, it just continues like that. We play until there's a certain amount of buildings and adventures into your village here, and then we're going to count up victory points.
Right, because you have 2 decks in this game, right? You have these buildings that provide, and I love, if anybody who knows me knows, I love multi-use cards. So those cards that when you have this hand of cards, you're like, oh, I really need that ability, or I really want that symbol, but oh, I really need that resource, and having to make that tough choice. I love that tension in a game. But then you've also got these hero cards. And when my understanding is that when you're building up your tableau, you can get the heroes provide a lot of points, but you're collecting these symbols of the different types of buildings in front of you first, right?
Yeah, you've played this before. Okay. So
I've played it a number of times, actually.
Yeah, so in the beginning, you're developing resources, you're building your buildings to kind of get your engine going, and then eventually you're going to have these certain buildings built here.
Right.
And you're using the icons on the buildings to then draft one of these adventures here. So this summoner is going to require a soldier and holy building in your village, and then you can pay a gold to recruit him, or you're basically attracting him with the symbols to your village, and then you have that permanent power and the victory points. So the victory points are skewed heavier on the adventures. So there's kind of like you want to kind of rush to build buildings to get the best adventures. So that is a tactic that you can do, but you could win the game without recruiting any adventures. It is possible, and I've seen it done. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And so it's got the lead follow action selection thing going on. It's got multi-use cards, it's got tableau building, and it's got almost like a set collection element.
Right, exactly.
But all of it flows really smoothly, and it just kind of escalates a little bit until you have this really neat tableau, right?
Yeah.
And how long do you think it plays in typically, do you see?
The first time you play, we'll play about 45 to an hour, and I think most of that is, you have to memorize the icons, what they do, you have to there's formulas for the powers and stuff, but once you kind of memorize that stuff, 2-player games will go anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, and then the 4 to 5 player, like 45 minutes at the max, I would say. And it will also depend on your, AP players, if you have, because it is really, there's grueling decisions there where you have a card and you can build it very quickly and it's going to give you an immediate reward. But then, you might need that resource as well to build like the epic, a wizard's tower or something that is hard to build, but it's going to give you a lot of points.
Yeah. And how many players does it play?
So it's 1 to 5, and it does actually come with a solo mode, and it comes with a solo player reference. So if you're playing by yourself, there's kind of short rules here, so you don't have to continuously look
love solo
back.
games that have that option. Yeah.
And I co-designed this with Rick Holzgraf, and Rick actually developed the solo rules. He, he developed the initial engine of what's happening, and then we just kind of went back and forth every week, like iterating like crazy, and I couldn't have done this without Rick. So,
That's great. And it's available in stores now.
Yeah.
And what do you know the MSRP offhand?
It's 25.
Oh, so it's $25 and you get a ton of cards and all that type of ability. And I gotta say also the other thing, and I know it's really tough because we can't zoom in with our overhead camera, the art on these cards is gorgeous. I've always loved the art on the Valeria series, so that's nice to see that you're continuing on. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the artist is Mihailo Dimitrievsky. I think I said it right.
Done. Wow.
I think I said it right. So, yeah, so he's from Macedonia, and he's just a really prolific illustrator right now. So he's everywhere. He's Estoril, and he's done Redacted, and he did that Game of Thrones card game that just came out.
That's gorgeous.
So yeah, he's everywhere, and he's like a huge deal in Macedonia as well. We just don't know about him, but in Macedonia he's big.
Macedonia's on the cutting edge.
Yeah, and he did the North Sea Saga, which is Raiders of the North Sea. It's another beautiful game. That's
well, it's great that you got a talent because it really makes the game shine with the art. It makes, as you're building your tableau, it's so fun to see that grow. Well, did you now you say you have quests for Valeria or quests of Valeria?
Quests of Valeria.
All right, and what's that schedule looking like?
So that one, it's March 24th is the release date.
That's coming right up?
Yeah, it's a couple days. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so we just kind of decided to get these out as quickly as possible because it's like they were being developed at the same time, and we're like, well, we can go ahead and maybe, leverage the brand a little bit and get sales on both of them. But that one plays completely different.
Can you give us like the elevator pitch for Quest of Valeria?
It's sort of like a Lords of Waterdeep card game. So if you think about it in those terms, you're again collecting citizens or adventurers to get their icons to turn that in, and then you're the best part about the game is when you hire someone from the guild, you actually get bonus actions. And so you can turn one action into 6 or 7 actions. So really it's a combo management game. So you're trying to get as much as you can on your turn.
That sounds awesome. I can't wait to see it.
I really like it, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, that is the Valeria. We have Villages of Valeria here, Quest of Valeria coming up very soon. Isaiah, thank you so much for joining us from Daily Magic Games. And thank you everybody for watching. We will see you soon.